So if you're considering renting your country, period, and or luxury home for rental, then please watch this video. So hey guys, I'm just about to move in a tenant into Seacham Lodge, which is located in Warwickshire. It's a period cottage which has been refurbished to a really high standard, so it fits in with all of those three criterias. So I thought this would be a perfect opportunity for me to talk to you guys about one of the biggest concerns that landlords of country, period, and or luxury homes have, which is is the tenant going to look after my property? Because as we know, unlike with an average property, if something goes wrong in your property, it's going to cost you tens of thousands of pounds. So what I thought I'd do in this video is talk to you about one of the ways in which I try and ensure that the tenancy starts off with the right foot, and that's by using a property handbook. So property handbook is effectively a file which contains all the instruction manuals, all the local information that is left behind by the landlord, organised by the agent to help the new tenants to settle in to their new property. So for Seacham Lodge, I'm going to reach over here and grab. These are just some of the manuals for that property. So it's like for dishwashers, it's got integrated ovens, it's got a wood burner fire, which I'll get onto in a second, but yeah, a lot of paperwork. So as you can, and to be honest, how we would have arranged this and organised this historically, I'm just going to put this on the floor, that would have taken me at least half a day to photocopy all of the pages, creating that file. And then we've also got issues moving forward with, you know, storing the originals as well, because then when the new tenants move in, we have to do it all over again. So it's quite a big job. So as you can appreciate, because of the size of the task, a lot of landlords and letting agents have let this part of the process slip. And if you've got an average family home, you might get away with it. But if you've got, like I said, a country, a period, and or luxury home, it's an essential part of the whole process, and you really can't skip this part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump onto the laptop. I'm going to set up a second camera so you can have a look, and I can show you the property handbooks that I create for my premium property landlords. So if you are looking at renting your property, please consider doing something similar. So what I'd first start off by saying is that please download your copy of this property handbook by clicking on the link that I've left in the comment section, so you can experience this property handbook as well. So with the property handbook, the first page is a generic email which most standard agents would send to the new tenant in the first place. And it's from the second page that it starts getting really interesting. One thing that I forgot to mention was that this is a PDF, as you can tell, document. So the tenant can also use this from their mobile device, and it's touch sensitive as well. So it just makes it sort of really easy to use. And the format of the document is very similar to the interactive brochure that we use to market the property. So they're very familiar with this layout as well. So on the second page here, you can see that there is some messages from the landlord to the tenant. The first point there is that this property has underfloor heating. So if any one of you guys have ever had underfloor heating, you've got underfloor heating, you know you can't really turn it off. So it's just a message there from the landlord to the tenant to say she generally keeps the property as a minimum of 17 degrees Celsius, and that's what she's been advised, and she hasn't had any issues. You can see down there, there's also things like the chimney needs to be cleaned annually as well. So just the sort of general information. So it's from the third page that things get even more interesting. So one of the things which I wanted to point out here was that if you do have a country home, your gas supply might be via LPG as Seacham Lodges. So if they click on this button which says Canada Gas, that will take them to a website where they can find their nearest supplier. There's also a button here for because the property has a septic tank. So if I click that button, that takes them to the Bromsgrove website where they can fill in their information and arrange for the septic tanks or cesspools to be emptied. Because the property has a luxury element to it as well, this property has some really high-end appliances. So for instance, it's got a steam oven. So if we clicked on the steam oven, it will take the tenant to Neff's website where they can find out more information about the. If they ever want to buy any accessories, they can do that, but they're going to be able to download all the instruction manuals, like you can see here as well. The property also got a wooden stove. So if they clicked on that, that would take them to the manual for the stove as well. And this is really important because from a landlord point of view, you can then obviously show and prove that you've done everything possible to provide the property and in a compliant way when it comes to health and safety. So it's got all of the manuals. It's also got local information, things like bin collection. And finally, it's got some useful videos. So let's just click on this button where it says for, using a wood burner, because we all love to use a wood burner. But as you guys who own wood burners will know, if you use, for example, the wrong type of wood, or wood which has too much water content in it, the wood doesn't burn properly, and therefore the fumes that come out of that is black, and therefore it can really harm the wood burner and all the associated parts as well. So one of the videos that we've got in here for Seacham Lodge is a video about how to light and use a wood burning stove.
Hi, I'm Pete for me.
Now if you've got an Arga, for example, this property doesn't, but if you did, you know, that's the sort of video that you could be putting in here, because again, it's such a fantastic product to have. But as you guys who own Argas know, you know, you've got to use it in the right way as well. So if you're not used to using it, you know, it's really important that we try and help those tenants to be able to use it and use it correctly. And what we generally find then is that once tenants settle into the property and they're using the appliances really, you know, they're really enjoying using those appliances, they're less likely to move out. So for Seacham Lodge, for example, and though the landlord didn't own this or buy this property to rent it out, she's just an accidental landlord, as you might be. Once you start earning, you know, £3,000 a month, you don't really want to have too many void periods. And it's not always about the money, it's just because of your property, because of its location, because of the fixtures and fittings, you don't want that property to be left unoccupied for a vast amount of time. So thank you very very much for watching this video. I hope that you found it useful, and please do make sure that you download your sample of the property handbook. So if you are renting your country, period and or luxury property, you providing the same sort of information. And if you are looking for tenants, then please do contact me on the contact details provided, and I can tell you the other things which we do to not only make sure that we're finding you the right tenants, but just as importantly, or even more importantly, your property is being looked after in the right way. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll catch up with you soon, and take care.